Hello everyone, this is Miguel Baez, and today we're going to be watching a walkthrough on MIT app Inventor. This is the digital Doodle app, part of the Project Lead the Way class for Computer Science Essentials. And this is a tutorial for my students and anyone else in the world that's working through this tutorial here. I'm going to begin with the basic functionality of the application. So let's begin. You will need a button. You will need a canvas under the Drawing and Animation tab. And you will need a camera. That's going to be under Media. When the camera appears, it's a non-visible component, so it's not going to show up on the screen. I'm going to rename the button so that it's easier to see when I go to the code. Select the button, go to Rename, and I'm going to call it Camera Pick. Any name is fine as long as you can recognize it on the block side. Going over to the block side, you can see that the change I made to Camera Pick takes over here, not necessarily inside of the actual application. So now let's add some functionality. When we click on the camera button, when we press the button, we are going to have the camera take a picture. After the camera takes a picture, we want something to happen. We want the picture to be displayed on the screen through the canvas. So I'm going to go here on canvas, and I'm going to go down to the setters. I'm going to grab the first setter I see, and I'll tell you why in just a second. I'm very aware that this is background color, but from here we can press this drop down and change it to any of the setters that are also on here. It's just a lot easier for me to see instead of having to read left, right. It's easier to see a list. So we're looking for background image. Now where to place this? When the camera takes a pic, something will happen. So I'm going to go back to the camera, and the first event that I see here is after the call is made to take a picture and the user takes a picture, the camera can trigger this event of after the picture, and this is to set the canvas background image to the image that was in the camera. To get the image, hover over the orange oval, hover over Get Image, click and drag onto the node that's open. Let's test it. I'm going to press the button, the camera came up. It's using the front camera to see the back of the desk that I'm on right now. The picture got taken. I press Use Photo, and it appears on the tablet, which is exactly what we're expecting it to happen. This completes the majority of what the project has, or this activity. The next step is to be able to draw on top of the canvas. No need to add anything else to the designer view. On the block view, we're going to go to the canvas, which is responsible for being able to draw. We're going to grab the event for dragged, which is going to be the first event on that list. We're going to go back to the canvas, and we're going to scroll down until we see draw line on the purple call buttons. It's going to need to know where the line starts and where it ends to be able to draw through it. So we're going to give it the previous X for X1, previous Y for Y1, current X for X2, and the current Y for Y2. We go to see how the app is responding as I'm drawing on top of it, and indeed it shows what's happening. Another feature that needs to be added is the ability to clear the canvas. For that, I will go to the Sensors drawer inside of Designer mode, and I will grab an accelerometer sensor. Going back to the blocks, I'm going to use that accelerometer. I'm going to use the event called When Accelerometer Sensor Shaking, and I'm going to use the call for the canvas to clear. So again, that was sensor, shaking, canvas, clear. Let's give it a try. Take a picture. use the picture, draw on it, shake the device. I haven't had a lot of luck on my iPad in making the device clear. I tried the legacy mode and it worked for one time, but not all the times. I tried changing the sensitivity as well. So I haven't thoroughly worked out that bug, but I'll show you how you can clear it without having to shake the actual device. For most blocks, like sets, calls, not events, you can right click it and you can press do it. And it will create that call or do that call. We can do that for the camera as well. If you press do it, it will trigger the camera. Picture can be taken. Photo can be placed on the canvas. You can clear it again by pressing the right click on the call and press do it, and it will clear the device. At this point, I think it's covered for most of the assignment. I think now it's time to make the layout look a little bit better. I think the button should be at the bottom. So I'm gonna remove the button and put it in the bottom. I also don't like the look of the button. I'd like to have it be more like a camera icon or something that reflects that it's recording or taking a picture. So I'm gonna use the color red. I'm gonna eliminate the text inside, and I'm gonna make it into an oval shape. To make it a perfect circle, I'm gonna change the height, and I'm gonna use pixels. 50 pixels by a width of 50 pixels. That gives me a nice looking circle. If I want this to be towards the bottom of the application when it starts, because a circle on the top left doesn't really make a lot of sense, I can change the size of the canvas. I'm going to go to the height, and I'm going to change it to 80% of the screen. Trust what the tablet does. Do not trust the viewer. The viewer simulates it. The tablet does a really good job in showing you what the app may look like when you go to publish it. I want to align this to the center of the screen. For that, I will need to use a layout. The layouts are on the second drawer, and I'm going to utilize a horizontal arrangement. I lost my button. To show the button again, change the font size into monitor size. It's going to zoom in, and you will be able to see your button once more. Change back to font size, and now time to center. On the horizontal arrangement, let's make it as big as the phone screen. So we're going to go to width, and we're going to tell it to fill the parent. The parent in this case is the screen. The screen is the parent of the canvas and the rest of the elements. The camera, take big button, is a child of the horizontal arrangement. So now to make this centered and looking nice, I'm going to press on the horizontal arrangement to align horizontal to the center and align vertical to the center. This is in case you want to change the background color. You could, of course, play with the percentage on the height of the canvas to make sure that it shows towards the bottom of the application. You can also just change the color of the screen. For the canvas, you can change the color of the canvas as well. So it starts to unify the app all together. You could also place a default image here to showcase what the application does. If you wanted to load an image, you can upload it here. It accepts PNGs, GIFs, and JPEGs. So the application is starting to look a lot better, little by little. Great. So the application looks a lot better than it did before. It's time to start adding more functionality. I'd like to give the user the option to add color. I'm going to do 2 colors. I'm going to use an arrangement to put the colors on the same area. And I will change the name of the colors by button and by the look of the color. So rename blue. And I should always allow the user to go back to the starting color, the black one. You can do as many colors as you like. So for the black color, I'm going to use text color black, and I'm just going to rename it black. And I'll probably do white so that we can see the contrast, and so that the background color could be black. For the other button, blue, I'm going to change the color to a blue. Text color white to bring some contrast so that the user can see it. Let's add some functionality. When the blue button is pressed, we're going to go to the canvas, and we're going to use a setter again. So again, I just grab the first setter I see. That's a lot easier for me to do. And after adding that, I can go to the drop down and look for paint color. After setting this paint color, I need the colors from the built-ins. So I can set this to blue and work less, duplicate this block. I get an error because we cannot have two of the same events, but I can use this drop down to go to the other color. And then I only have to change a couple of things instead of going back and forward to the drawer to get the code. Let's test it. I can draw on the canvas with two different colors. There's of course a lot of features that can be added, such as a pen size, but I'll let you figure that out on your own. Also, another great feature to add for user feedback is a clicking noise or something to allow the user to know that they selected a different color, or even some way to highlight the color when it's chosen. These are things that you can do on your own. I hope you had fun today and that this video was informative. If you'd like to see more, please comment on the bottom. Have a great day. Happy programming.